gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no.
If you had to argue that the major human sex organ is the brain, in a sense, you would be right. Much of what is considered sexually arousing in our society has little or nothing to do with our genitals. Instead, it is related to external stimuli that, through a process of learning, have come to be labeled as erotic or sexually stimulating. For example, there are no areas of the body that automatically produce sexual arousal when touched. Areas of the body called erogenous zones that have an unusually rich array of nerve receptors are particularly sensitive not just to sexual touch but to any kind of touch. What differs is the interpretation given to the touch. Sexual arousal is likely only when a certain part of the body is touched in what people define as a sexual manner and when a person is receptive to sexual activity. Although people can learn to respond sexually to almost any stimulus, there is a deal of agreement within a society or culture about what usually represents an erotic stimulus. Sexual fantasies also play an important role in people's life. People often have fantasies of a sexual nature during their everyday, non-sexual activity. Men's and women's fantasies differ little from each other in terms of intent or quantity, although men seem to fantasize about sex more than women do. But both men and women wish they had kissed more, engaged in more oral sex, and had vaginal intercourse more frequently than they actually do. In addition, some evidence suggests that males have a stronger sex drive than females do, although the difference may be the result of society's discouragement of overt displays of female sexuality rather than inborn differences between men and women. It is clear that men think about sex more than women. While 54% of men report thinking about sex every day, only 19% of women report thinking about it on a daily basis. Sex is an important consideration in most people's life, although the physical aspects of human sex are not all that different from other species. The meaning, values, and feelings that humans place on sexual behavior elevate it to a special plane. To fully appreciate this difference, however, it is necessary to understand the basic biology underlying sexual responses. Though biological factors prime people for sex, it takes more than hormones to motivate and produce sexual behavior. In animals, the presence of a partner who provides arousing stimuli leads to sexual activity. Humans are considerably more versatile. Not only other people, but nearly any object, sight, smell, sound, or other stimulus can lead to sexual excitement. Because of prior associations, then, people may be turned on sexually by the smell of a perfume or the sound of a favorite song hummed softly in their ears. The reaction to a specific, potentially arousing stimulus, as we shall see, is highly individual. What turns one person on may do just the opposite for another. The reason the male sexual behavior can occur at any time is because the level of androgen production by the testes is fairly constant. Men are capable of and interested in sexual activities without any regard to biological cycles. Although the kinds of stimuli that produce sexual arousal are to some degree unique to each individual, we all share some basic aspects of sexual responsiveness.